Hello, hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us again. My name is Nadine Mehabir, and I'm a certified immigration consultant with over 22 years' experience in this field. Today, I want to talk a little bit about visitors or visitors visa to Canada. Now, depending on the country that issued your passport, because, yes, I know there are persons who may be born in one country, but you may have obtained citizenship in another country. So, whatever passport you're using to travel to Canada, you need to find out whether or not you need a visitor's visa to travel to Canada. For some persons, you need to apply for what is called an Electronic Travel Authorization, an ETA. So again, you need to double check on the Canadian immigration website whether or not you need an ETA, do you need a visitor's visa, or do you just need your passport to travel to Canada? For example, US citizens just need their passports to show that, yes, they are a US citizen and they don't need a visitor's visa or an ETA. Depending on your reason for traveling to Canada, that will also determine how much time you are given in the country. For example, if you are a regular tourist and you're going to Canada as a visitor for tourism purposes, it means you probably won't be staying for maybe longer than a week, 2 weeks, or maybe a month, depending on how much vacation time you will get from your workplace or if you're self-employed and have a business. So when you're doing your application, and please note that the visitor's visa applications are now done online. They've been doing them online for quite a number of years. You will need to show your supporting documents, your job letters, bank statements, property documents, an invitation letter if you're going to be visiting someone in Canada. You want to include both the invitation letter and a copy of their Canadian status documents, such as their permanent resident card or their Canadian passport by a page. That is for the person who is inviting you to Canada. I normally recommend that you can also get the person's job letter because then that will show that they're gainfully employed in Canada and they can host you comfortably without you having to worry about accommodation expenses. So for your visitor's visa application, you want to ensure that you show the necessary supporting documents, that the documents are current, meaning I would say no more than 3 months old. So your bank statements, your job letter, motor vehicle documents, and property documents, fine. There's no issue there. But your job letter and your bank statement should not really be older than 3 months. I know, yes, you can have 6 months, but for me, I prefer three, no more than 3 months. Once you've submitted all your documents, depending on which country you're applying from, you may also need to do what is called your biometrics. This is where they take your fingerprints and your photograph. And this is normally done through a visa application center. So again, depending on the country that you're living in, you want to find out where it is that you would need to go and do your biometrics. Once you submit your visitor's visa application online, then you will receive the confirmation letters for submission, as well as maybe I think normally within a day or so, you get the letter to go and have your biometrics done. So for your application, you submit it. Once everything is finalized, you have your visa, if everything goes well. Once you get to Canada, depending on the purpose of your visit, an immigration officer may stamp your passport, or you will need to take note of when you landed in the country. If there's no date stamped in your passport, it implies then that you have 6 months in the country. Of course, it doesn't mean that you should stay for 6 months because you can have problems later on. Unless, of course, if maybe you are a parent or a grandparent who is going to Canada to be assisting with children or grandchildren, then of course there are different criterions that may apply in your situation. Parents and grandparents can apply for what is called a super visa, and we'll talk about that in another video. But parents and grandparents, yes, they can stay up to 5 years if they have a super visa. Otherwise, they do a regular visitor's visa. You can go up and stay for a maximum of 6 months and then apply for an extension of your stay. And anyone can really apply for an extension of your stay, but of course, it depends on the circumstances and why it is that you're applying for an extension. So, if you need more details, you want to find out your options, please contact our office. Make sure you have the right information before you start doing applications and getting them refused. And of course, it makes our job 10 times harder. Our contact number in Jamaica, it is 876-754-4391. That's 876-754-4391. In Canada, it is 1-416-249-5885. That's 1-416-249-5885. And our email address is info@cdnintl.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening. And if there's other topics you would like me to cover, please let me know. Take care. All the best.